Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining Grow Money Trading channel. And um, we would start with the GMT analysis. And as we typically do, we will start with the indexes analysis first, and then we'll go on to the stocks and ETFs or any other instrument that um, members on the call would like to be analyzed, and then we'll take the requests that have been already made by our members in the GMT community group. Before we go on to the analysis, just quickly, this is our official website, and you can uh, find the details of our upcoming course. So, in the next week on Saturday, we are starting with our new batch of our Grow Money Trading course. So, for those who are interested in learning from our course, you might be a beginner, or you have been trading for some time and would like to acquire the skills to be consistently profitable. We have this Grow Money Trading course, which is over 4 weekends. We take on Saturday and Sunday about 2.5 hours to 3 hours, depending upon the questions that are asked during the sessions. So, if you haven't enrolled in the course yet, please go ahead and enroll from our website. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. All right, so now we'll begin with the indexes analysis. And, the major US indexes will start first, and then we'll go on to the Canadian indexes and commodities and crypto as well. To start with, we'll take first S&P 500 SPX index, and if you look on the weekly chart, the index in the last week has formed a green candle, and Williams R is now back in the overbought region. RSI is upwards with, um, at 55, and MACD is almost moving up the zero line. So from MACD and RSI, it shows that there is still upside. However, the Williams R has moved in the overbought region, which means you can expect some correction soon, at least small correction before it continues further up. Since mid Bollinger Band is at 500, 5,758, from the current levels, you can expect mid Bollinger Band and another EMA here at 5,629 to act as a support. If it corrects, it would close this small gap here as well. If I assume you will be able to see the gap. So upon correction, we can expect this gap to be filled. Once this gap gets filled, this level close to uh, the EMA here, it's actually at 5,723 or close to 5,725. It could take support, and that could be good level to enter for taking it further up. If we look on the daily chart, uh, as you can see, it had a gap down opening, and then towards the close there was uh, downward price rejection, and it has formed a candle which indicates it could go further up. However, the EMAs are under the current price, which indicates that uh, the correction is expected. With this candle, we can expect a small upside up to this level close to 5,900 or even 6,000 if it is strong bullish. Um, and then when it corrects, the level to watch for entering For medium to longer term, as we saw on weekly chart, the levels on the daily chart are also around the same. You can see two EMAs merging at 5,700, close to 5,725, which would be a good support level to enter uh, the stocks which are tracked by the S&P 500. The Williams R has turned downward. RSI is flat, um, and MACD has also turned flat. So in the upcoming week, we can expect some volatility, you know, prices going up and down, or down and then moving up. With the last candle, it indicates that in the immediate session on Monday, we can expect prices to go up and then face resistance either around this level or near upper Bollinger Band, and then correct, uh, which would be a good time to enter. If we look on the nasdaq 100 index, almost similar pattern. The candle here, the last candle formed a high which was higher than the previous 2 days. However, it has closed lower than the closing that it had on 16th of May. Uh, since Williams R is in overbought region, again, in terms of the trend, we can expect it to correct and close the gap. In this case, we can see the mid Bollinger Band and the EMA both are merging at 20,368, which would be strong support for entering the stocks which are tracked by Nasdaq 100. On the weekly chart, if you look on the daily chart, it has had a downward price rejection in the last session with high volume, which indicates Monday we can expect the prices to trade higher than it closed on Friday, and the resistance around 21,400 or 21,600. If market is even stronger, could take up to the upper Bollinger Band and then correct for taking support close to 20,000, 261 or 20,000, which would be a good entry price. Lower Bollinger Band is upward, so as the trading goes in the coming week, we can expect lower Bollinger Band to uh, merge near the 200 EMA or the EMS here, which would be the strong support for entering. So for those who are already on to these stocks, you could hold. And if you are looking to enter in a new trade, it would be good to watch for the uh, correction and then plan for entry. Uh, Please, that's what visible on the S&P 500 and NDX index. Let's see DJI, it is Dow Jones. Okay, yeah. So Dow Jones sometimes has issue in Webull. We'll come back to Dow Jones on Yahoo Finance. Let's see semiconductor index SOX. For SOX, in the past 3 weeks, it has been touching the overbought region and hence has been trading almost in this narrow channel uh, between these two range. The last candle is indicating correction. Uh, However, it's taking support at the mid Bollinger Band, and this level close to 4,435 could be the support that you could watch for on the weekly chart, unless it has a strong bearish move, in which case it could drop to EMA 3,920. But for that, we there needs to be a strong negative news, and which could come from the White House regarding the tariff discussions that are ongoing. And seeing on the daily chart, it's clear that looking at the last two sessions and Williams R, the um, direction is bearish. Uh, it's indicated on RSI and MACD as well. There has been small correction, but we can still expect further correction for the semiconductor stocks. Um, in the last session, it took support at mid Bollinger Band and EMA 200. But looking at the pattern, um, it could drop further to close this gap here. With the downward price rejection in the last session, there could be a small bullish move in the immediate session on Monday or Tuesday, but then the level here at 4,600, 4,860, or at 4,960 could be the resistance, and then it could drop to close this gap here. When it closes this gap, 4,560 would be the support that you could look for. Williams R has turned close to minus 70, but still there is some drop expected. RSI is at 56, so there's still some downward expected on the semiconductor stock, and which aligns with the gap up that we see here and can get close soon. Right, moving next to the indexes that you can see on Yahoo Finance. So Dow Jones, it has been trading in a very narrow channel here. If you see last 3 weeks, there has been not much movement on the weekly chart. RSI is almost at 51. Williams R is still in the overbought region, close to minus 9. So with the Williams R level, we can still expect some correction. Although in the last almost 4 weeks, it has been holding at the mid Bollinger Band, and if it corrects, 39,400 is the level that we have seen in our previous analysis as well. That could be the level that you could look for support. Uh, and if that breaks further, then the lower Bollinger Band, which is at 38 500, around 900 points further. Since it is taking support at the mid Bollinger Band, uh, this support could help it to move up to the this resistance level 42,700, which is another 500 points of upside, and then can expect some correction again. If we look on the daily chart, on the daily chart again there's a narrow trading that's been happening. uh, on the lower side, mid Bollinger Band is giving support and it's taking resistance at the EMA here. Uh, if it breaks this resistance, then the upper Bollinger Band, which is uh, not too far here, 42,700, and upper band is 43,000. That would be the level that you could look for resistance. And if it doesn't break this resistance, you can expect the support at mid Bollinger Band to be broken, and in which case the um, support level to watch would be at 41,000, which is even lower than the level that we saw on the weekly chart. And since lower Bollinger Band is almost merging this EMA, the 41K support looks to be a strong support to watch for. Moving ahead, so now we have completed the US indexes. So let's now talk about the Canadian index, TSX composite. Uh, TSX have been on the rise since the first week of April after the announcement of Liberation Day. It has been moving up. Since it was in overbought region, there was small correction, but the bullish move has continued. And uh, in the last to last week, it had some profit booking at the upper Bollinger Band. Um, and then in the last week, it has given a doji movement. Looking at the candle formation here, um, you- at least for the last session, the market is uh, not clear in terms of the move. And since it is in the overbought region, although upper Bollinger Band is still showing some upside, if you are holding on to some of the positions, it would be good to book profits at least 90% or 80% of your positions. If you look at the RSI is still 63. So RSI is still showing some upside. And if we add Williams R is in overbought region. So if you look at Williams R, it had turned slightly downward and has become flat and is in overbought region. So there could be just a small upside, and then it could face strong resistance at the upper Bollinger Band, have a correction, and uh, once it corrects, mid Bollinger Band level close to 25,000 would be the level that you could watch for entering. So if you are holding some of the um, large cap Canadian stocks like Shopify or even bank stocks, it could be good to book your profits. Um, if not on Monday, starting from Tuesday, you could look for booking your profits. You could wait for Monday closing to see whether it formed a green candle or it has had a upward price rejection. After that, you could start booking your profits from Tuesday onwards. So that's for TSX. We take gold futures. Gold on the weekly chart, you see it has also been trading in this narrow channel. It formed an all-time high in April, and since then the market has been uh, trading sideways over past 6 weeks. And from the Williams R, it is at minus 27, which means it has had the small correction here. RSI is 64 and flat. So even RSI and Williams are not giving a clear direction. The sideways movement on the weekly chart is uh, also reflected on the indicators on the uh, RSI and Williams R. We look at daily chart. Yeah, it has clearly formed this narrow band. If you see here, it has been trading in this narrow band. So today, when the market opens at 6 p.m., you could expect it to drop to mid Bollinger Band and then take support to come up to 3400 level. When it touches 3400, that would be a good level for those who are uh, trading future options. At 3400, it would be good to take put options uh, for gold. And the strike price could be the mid Bollinger Band here, 3280 or even 3300. And the next level to look for would be uh, the EMA here, close to 3200. And if it drops further, then 3000 could also be the strike price that you could consider. If you are choosing little far expiry, then 3000 could be the uh, strike price to choose for. All right, so after gold, we'll take crude oil. And we'll start off with the weekly chart for crude oil as well. For crude oil, it has been in the downtrend, and if we look the last four sessions, it has been almost forming lower lows. The mid Bollinger Band is downward, upper Bollinger Band is downward. Although RSI and Williams are flat, with the candles that it has formed in the last 4 weeks, it would be good to hold on buying a long position, as still there is some further correction that can be seen. So the lower Bollinger Band level at 5650 would be good for entering it to hold it for medium to long position, or taking calls at the current level. And based on the candle that it has formed, the market is not clear whether it wants to be bullish or bearish, but with the candle formation and the um, EMA levels or mid Bollinger Band and upper Bollinger Band level, it indicates more of a bearish trend. And if we look on daily chart, on the daily chart, uh, then upper Bollinger Band and EMA are downward. It has been taking support at the mid Bollinger Band. So wait for it to drop at least at lower Bollinger Band. And if it drops under lower Bollinger Band, like what happened on 5th of May, that would be good time to take calls. But for now, wait for it to correct further and uh, wait for the lower Bollinger Band level close to 5750 for entering the crude oil call options. Uh, this mid Bollinger Band has been forming a support. One, two, three. This is the third time, and in the last session, since it has dropped under the lower Bollinger Band, that shows weakness, and can expect it to drop until lower Bollinger Band. Williams R is showing the downtrend. It's almost flattish, but still downward. So that's also another confirmation that we can expect crude oil to drop further. All right. So next we will take Bitcoin, and I'll take in USD for those who are trading cryptos. And I will start off with the weekly chart. Yeah. As we had analyzed a couple of weeks back, Bitcoin was touching the upper Bollinger Band, was in the overbought region, and we have started to see the correction on the weekly trend. Last week, it formed a red candle. Since the trading has started today, so the candle is still forming, but with the pattern that we are seeing here, and RSI at 61, Williams are at minus 19, which are still indicating that it's in overbought region and expect correction. When it drops to the mid Bollinger Band, goes to 94K, that's the level you could watch for it to take support. It had previously taken support at those levels back in December, January, and here it acted as support again in Feb. So look for 94K to see whether it takes strong support. If the market is strongly bearish and it breaks down, then the next level to look for would be around 82.5K. That's on the weekly chart, which means we can expect um, couple of months for these levels to reach. But since it's Bitcoin, the movement in the cryptos is faster. So few weeks to over month or couple of months, you can expect those levels if the market is strongly bearish. If you see on the daily chart, it's trading under the mid Bollinger Band, and the lower Bollinger Band level is at 101 533, and with the current price, that's another close to 3,300 points lower. If it doesn't take support at the lower Bollinger Band, which it could because it acted as support previously as well, the next level to watch for would be 98,500, and a stronger support is at 94K, which is what we saw on the weekly chart, mid Bollinger Band level as well. So overall, for the US market indexes, the US markets are also looking to trade in the sideways because of the Trump's tariff updates over the social channel, and also from White House. You can expect some volatility, sharp price upward and then downward. And looking at the indexes for Canadian stock, because these are at the overbought region, you can expect correction. And lastly, for Bitcoin, it has already started in the bearish trend. So if you are planning to start trading in cryptos, it would be better you wait for at least couple of months before you start putting your money in cryptos. All right, so I'll just pause here. Vivek, I know you wanted to start trading in cryptos, or you had started trading. So um, do you have any question for crypto before we go on to the other stock requests?
No, Kamal. I mean, I'm looking into it, but I haven't started anything major.
Okay. Yeah, and looking at the bearish trend, it would be better to wait for the correction. 94K looks to be a strong support both on
Mhm.
the daily and weekly chart. It might take few weeks or over a month, a couple of months, but that level would be good if you want to start putting your money.
Got it. Thank you.
No problem. All right. So with that, Abbas, uh, hello, Wilshire. Nice to see you, or nice to see you on the call. Any stock requests that you have? Up to now, we were doing the index analysis, and um, I'm happy to open the call for any stock request, stock ETF that you are trading or you're watching and would be interested to trade in the coming week. And there are a few
Hey,
requests from the groups as well. We can go on to those after your request. Yes, we'll share.
hey, thanks so much, Kamal. Yeah, I have invested in VOO and QQQ. I later realized that the stocks in it are kind of similar, but they've seen that they do trade slightly differently. So if you could have a look at QQQ and VOO, that'll be great. Thanks so much, Kamal.
Sure. I'll be happy to take this. So we analyze NASDAQ 100, which is the index that QQQ follows. So the top 100 tech stocks in the US are tracked by NASDAQ 100 index. Uh, okay, the ticker is NDX, and QQQ is an ETF, exchange traded fund, which follows NASDAQ 100. Okay, so with that overview, looking at the QQQ chart on the weekly chart, in the last three sessions, it has been trading slightly in the small channel. It is about to form a small channel. William Sir is an indicator which is indicating that it is in overbought region, which means it can expect correction soon. And 3 weeks back, it had a gap up. When there is correction, the markets tend to close the gap. So if I zoom here, there's a light shadow which you would be seeing. This gap, when the market corrects or the mark when the prices drop, the market would try to close this gap. So for QQQ, it will try to touch this 495 level, where these two lines you are seeing, these are the indicators, um, indicating that when market corrects, it could drop up to 495, and that would be the level where people could start buying again. Because it's trading sideways, and the last candle that it has formed, it's kind of a confused candle wherein the market could take its price slightly up as well before it corrects. This indicator here, RSI, is at 57. When it goes to 70 or beyond, that's the level when it's in overbought region. Because it is currently at 57, it indicates that there's slight upside, and that upside could be uh, at this level. It has had some profit booking. The next level would be 537. So if it goes up because of this confused trading in the last session, the next level would be around this 538, 540, where strong profit booking could happen and bring its price down to 495. Okay, so this is on the weekly trend. So you can expect these kind of moves on a week by week basis. Looking on the daily chart, in the last two sessions, the market is opening higher and forming red candle, meaning it is closing lower than the open price. in the last session, it has not touched the mid Bollinger Band, which could have been strong support. However, it has formed a candle which is indicating that in the next session on Monday, we can expect its price to go slightly higher and then either face resistance at this level, which is around 523, which could be a stronger resistance. If it goes beyond, then the level that we were discussing on the weekly chart around 537, 538, which is the upper Bollinger Band. At that level, you can expect strong profit booking to happen and prices to drop. Once it drops, this gap here on daily chart, it would try to close this gap, in which case the level here at 492 or at 485 on weekly chart we are seeing 495. Daily chart gives even more closer levels to look for. So 492 would be the 495 here as well. 494, 495. If you are not watching the market on a daily basis, you can keep your buy level at 495 and leave it in the system. Whenever it drops, your order will execute. And with these indicators here, it's indicating that these are the levels to look for buying. And if you have your order in the system, when it reaches this level, your order will execute and other buyers would also come in, which would then take its price up. So for the immediate session, that is Monday, Tuesday, you can expect its price to go little up based on this last candle. Um, but overall, if you are looking to buy, then would be better to wait for it to correct and watch for level around 495 to enter. Okay. So are
Okay.
you
Thank you.
holding QQQ or are you looking to purchase?
I'm holding QQQ as well.
Okay. So if you are holding, then you should be watching that it reaches around 537 to book your profit. And if you are holding it as a medium to long term holder, um, if you have invested for medium to long term, then you could book profit from small quantity, let's say 20% of your investment. You could book profit at around 537. When you have cash out of that 20% amount, when it drops to 495, you can re-enter or purchase again. So that way you book some profit and you still have cash to enter at lower price. Make sense?
Got it. Yes, that's a nice insight. I also, Kamal, can I do that for VOO as well? What would be a good time to sell and book some profit and then again re-enter the market?
Sure. Let's see. VOO. Yeah, VOO. Again, if I just quickly check the profile. So if you see VOO is following S&P 500. S&P 500 is the index for uh, top 500 stocks in the US, and that's the index that we discussed at the start of the session. So VOO is an ETF which follows S&P 500. So again, in terms of pattern, um, Nasdaq is top 100 tech stocks. S&P 500 is 500 stocks, top 500 stocks. So pattern wise, you will find it somewhat similar. Um, VOO would follow exactly the same pattern of S&P 500 index. Just to see the levels for VOO, It's again within this band. So when it goes up, the 560 level here, yeah, 559, 560, you can look for booking profit on 20% of your positions. Uh, you see 555, 560 here on weekly chart, but the upper Bollinger Band here is at 559, 555.95. As a conservative investor, I would suggest to book your profits near this 555 level on that we see on the daily chart. Book profit from 20% or 25% of your investment, and when it drops, wait for this level at 525. If we see here 517, and that's what is here on the lower Bollinger Band as well. So 517.80 is here. Again, as a conservative investor, you could buy at around 520 just to make sure that your order executes, because others in the market would also be looking at 517.83. And um, it happens that people who are buying in large quantity, if they buy $1 higher, uh, it doesn't actually let it touch 517.83. So it, in order to make sure that your order executes, you can buy few dollars higher and sell few cents lower than the target prices, just to make sure that your order executes. Okay, so look for booking your profit around 555 and wait for 517 to re-enter. Or if you want to be even more sure, 525 as your repurchase price. Okay,
Got it. Thanks so much on that, Kamal.
you're welcome. All right, Abbas, do you have any requests?
No, thank you.
Okay, no problem. And so we'll take next from Vivek. He has requested for Tesla in the chat. Oh, RY and Tesla. So let's start with Tesla and then we can go to RY. Tesla on the weekly chart, the upper Bollinger Band is at 428, but the last candle that it has formed, and Vivek would know that this candle is called gravestone doji, which means there's upward price rejection, and market is looking to bring its price down from the closing price. um, Williams R is in overbought region. RSI is 57, which again, um, because it is at this center, shows on the uh, weekly tenure, we can expect it to go up. But with the last candle that it has formed, we can expect correction first before it goes to 428. And even Williams are being in overbought region, we can expect a small correction first before it goes further up. And as I zoom, we can see a small gap here, which would get closed when it drops to the mid Bollinger Band and the EMA that is merging. So the buy level for Tesla would be at 312 or 312.50, 313. Once it drops to that level, watch for the reversal and then enter for the target of 428. But for now, based on this candle, we can expect it to drop on the weekly chart. If we see on the daily chart, it's clearly moving downward. There is a bearish move uh, confirmed by Williams R, RSI, and MACD as well. So for Tesla, although it has closed in the last session at this EMA, which could act as a small resistance, a small support, and then bring it again to 350, at which point, Vivek, if you are trading puts, 326 put could be good.
Okay, come on. I'm trading only shares. I have some stock in that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. I'm
Hold.
looking at the weekly candles at this point.
Yeah. So you would then have to hold, and once it's correct, uh, on daily chart the gap is not clearly visible because of this small wicks, but you could look for 305 on weekly chart. This EMA 292 aligns with the 200 EMA on the daily chart. If it drops under 300 and you start seeing it taking support around 292 or 295, then you can plan to increase your position,
Okay, come on.
right? But with the trend that it has formed in the last two uh, sessions, put looks to be a quick trade, and then once it takes the support, uh, then you can increase your positions for higher targets. The first target would be upper Bollinger Band here, 385, and second target would be 428. Okay,
Okay, come on. Okay.
great. Uh, RY, are you holding Canadian or US?
Canadian, of course, Canadian, but it's gonna be the same.
Right. So are you okay with? Let me take it here itself. Okay. Yeah. It was in oversold and then had a.
Yeah, I bought it after the fall.
Okay. So you bought on Thursday or Friday?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's taking support on the mid Bollinger Band, and Williams R has reversed because of the green candle
No, if I'm expecting a breakout in this, Kamal.
at
If you
180.
see, yeah, I mean, if you see the RSI, um, if you see here, it's all completely. It's all like more of a bullish divergence, which resulted in the fall, and now it has again reversed. So now the whole point would be like it can either break out. I felt it looks more clear in a Hekanashi pattern. That's why I felt like it can break out.
Yeah, Hekanashi is, I think, not on Yahoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then we'll have to look on the VBull.
Either
But
even in this you can see like in the weekly you can see the uh, if you see the for weeks it has been is it weekly? It's daily.
this is weekly,
Okay.
and daily was showing that it was taking support on the mid Bollinger Band, but on weekly, if you see, because of the large drop that it had on Thursday, uh, it had closed lower than or almost at the close price in previous week. That's the level that it closed in the last session. So from my view, I see that it can drop further at, and 168 could be the level that you could watch for reversal on the weekly chart, and I think that's what I was seeing on the EMA here, 168.57. So although last session it formed a green candle, uh, then it could face resistance here at 5 EMA, which is close to 175. And if you look previously, it has acted as either a support or resistance. And then at 175, it could break down for these levels before it goes further up. Not sure when I was talking about the TSX index analysis, were you there on the call?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I was there. I was there. Yeah.
yeah, but looking at the TSX and RY being one of the large caps on TSX, with TSX correction, this could also correct as well. If you have entered for dividends or thinking of a medium to long term, you could still hold or watch closely that it faces resistance at 175 or no. If it closes above 175 on a daily basis, then you could hold it for upper Bollinger Band 180 target. But
Okay, come on.
looking on the weekly trend, I'm not expecting it to do a breakout at 180. I would expect a small correction first with TSX index at least reaching the mid Bollinger Band, and from there taking it further up.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's RY. Next is Google. Google, it has closed at mid Bollinger Band in the last week. Williams R and RSI both, and including MACD is upward, which is positive. And if you look on the daily chart, there's downward price rejection, market taking support at the EMA. So with the last candle shows that it can go further up. 175 and 178 could be the levels that you could watch for the target. And if you look on the daily chart, if it goes beyond 175, 191 would be the next resistance before it goes to 200. That would be third target level. Are you already on Google, or you're looking for entry?
I hold Google, but on the Canadian side, with there is a
PDR.
YGOG, which is a yield share ETF of Google. So I'm holding that. But I don't think you'll see it on this guy. Yeah, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, so it's the same Google. So
Mhm.
I'm holding this guy. Pretty much looking long term. Yeah.
Okay. So, for, yeah, YGOG, because it's still under lower Bollinger Band, um, even entry at the current prices looks good for medium to long term hold. Does it have dividend as well?
Yeah, very good percent, man.
Okay,
Around
that's
10% or something.
that's nice. So we'll share, since you're trading in ETFs. Um,
It's 9.73%
yeah,
dividend monthly.
let's see if it opens up here. So we'll share. What I was saying is that since you are trading ETF, which are following the indexes, um, this ETF or Canadian hedge stock of Google, which Vivek has shared, you see it has good growth potential as well as uh, good dividend yield as well.
Okay.
So there are uh, many large cap stocks in the US whose Canadian hedged uh, stocks are available on one of the exchange, that you could trade on simple, uh, commission free, because these are Canadian stocks.
Got it. What is the letter for this?
So this is YGOG, and it's
All
on.
right.
So you can search for other large cap stocks as well. So okay, well, I'll just finish this and then we'll uh, go to one more
Sure.
which Vivek had shared. So Vivek, in terms of the Canadian hedge, if you are already holding it, this looks good to hold for target of 3260 on the weekly chart. And if you look on the daily chart, yeah, 3230, that's the upper Bollinger Band, and the 200 EMA as well. So that's the nearest target. But since you mentioned that you are going to hold it for longer term, it's 3560, and then 3820 would be the targets that you could look for and hold. Okay, wait.
Perfect, man.
Awesome. All right. So YTSL was the other one. So this is an ETF which follows Tesla in the US market, similar to the one that we saw for Google. Uh, as of now, on the weekly chart, it is forming red candle, so we can expect correction. And the level for entry would be around 1884. Let's see on the
And you
daily.
can see the dividend has been monthly.
Yeah, we'll come to that. So I'll just finish the buy levels. Uh, Based on the indicators, it is downward, so expect correction. The mid Bollinger Band is 2046, but since there is a gap here, you can expect that gap to be filled. And because Tesla moves fast and buyers are willing to buy before even reaches the oversold region. 1884 we saw on the weekly chart. 1881 is what I'm seeing on the daily chart. What I would suggest is to buy at $19 because it's Canadian. Um, and you might be buying on simple. It's okay to buy few cents higher. As once Tesla corrects, then it could take it. It could move way fast and go to 20 and even 24. So buy around 19. Uh, First target this EMA around 22. Second target 24. And third target would be 28, 2860. Currently the upper Bollinger Band is at 29, but it's downward. So when it drops further and comes up, this 28 could be your third target. And just looking in terms of the dividend yield, it's not updated here. Vivek, how much is the dividend yield as of now with the current price?
YTSL,
Yeah,
I think 10%, man.
10%.
Yeah, just give me a second. I'm just taking it out. I just closed it.
That's okay. You can check. So, we'll share if you see these large cap stocks,
No, distribution yield is 30.78.
30.
30.78.
Wow.
Just
And
posting it here.
and they are giving monthly dividends,
Yeah.
right? So, we'll share if you compare this with the ETFs that you are holding, you see the dividends itself is way higher. You can buy more quantity and percentage dividend is higher. It gives monthly dividend. So these form better alternatives, even if you are a medium to long term investor.
Okay, I see. I'll keep an eye out for any more large cap stocks.
Yeah. You can start off with watching this YTSL and the Google one that we discussed that we shared.
Yeah,
Okay,
most of them have these kind of yield shares now, Kamal, like PLDR, all those things have. So
Yeah.
whenever I want to buy it in Canadian, I just take a look at it, look at everything, and then enter. Yeah.
Yeah. So when these uh, drop upon correction, if you buy these ETFs, you get good growth as well as dividends as well. Yeah,
got
it's
it.
showing.
Thanks so much on that, Kamal.
You're welcome. So here it's showing 25.91, which itself is great return if, if you just buy and hold. All right, so we have covered this. I'll just quickly check the request from the GMT groups. There was a request for PDYN from Dan De Silva. PDYN based on Williams R, it has moved up. RSI also upward. MACD upward as well. Uh, Currently, it has closed at 787. The upper Bollinger Band is at 984, which is another $2 upward price. It has had a momentum. So market has had a momentum in the past few weeks. The high it made on Thursday of 874, and then profit booking with its current price below here 735. This EMA here, if you are looking for a momentum trade, buy here at 735 with with a stop loss under $6.70 for a target, first target of 875 and second target of 984. The EMA at 1460, but that may or may not reach depending upon um, how much is the positive sentiment on the trade. Looking at the volume is over 3 million, which means uh, there's good interest in the market for this stock. So purely a momentum trading stock, not for holding medium or long term. If you would like to enter at the current price or um, around 735, enter it with a $1 stop loss for $1 to $2 of upside. The first target could be 875 since it made 874 as high. Since upper Bollinger Band on the weekly chart is higher, the market would try to go beyond this high. So from the current price, there's about $1 to $2 upside. You could watch it closely, potentially on a smaller time frame. Yeah, if we look on 1 hour chart, the lower Bollinger Band is at 756 and the CMA is close to 760.65, which could be your buy level. If you see here, the market got reversed from this level, this EMA level. Yeah, so if you are looking for a momentum trade, buy around 760 for first target of 875 and second target of 980, but not for long term hold. All right, the next is Shopify, favorite stock for Canadian traders. And I'll take Shopify on, actually, I will take on NYSE so it covers the extended market as well. Nasdaq rather. Okay, Shopify on weekly and daily chart. From weekly chart, it's similar to what we saw on indexes S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100. The Williams R is almost touching the upper Bollinger Band. However, RSI is still at 54, which shows that on a weekly trend there is still upside. And on the last candle, it has had a lower price rejection, which means market could take its price up. And if you are holding it, the first target would be 111, second 115, third target 118, and small quantity you could hold for 127. If you are planning, if you are watching to enter uh, on a daily chart, because there is a gap down here, the first buy could be around 100 and a strong buy around $95, which is EMA 200 on the daily chart. And then there's an EMA on the weekly chart as well at 93. So 95 would be a good entry price for Shopify upon correction. Right. Vivek, are you on Shopify as well or no?
No, Kamal, I'm not on Shopify.
Okay, no problem.
I'm now more on UNH.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just take Celestica from Afif and then we'll take UNH as well to end off. Celestica CLS. Okay, so Celestica in past 7 to 8 weeks, it has been on uptrend. Last week it reached the overbought region and that has resulted in some profit booking uh, and it formed a red candle from the upper Bollinger Band on the weekly chart. 139 could be the target. Since RSI has turned downward and MACD has also turned almost flat, if you look at the yellow line, there's profit booking happening at this level. And if we look on the weekly daily chart, it's more clearer that on the weekly chart, because it was in the overbought region, uh, see here on Williams R RSI, that's why the profit booking has happened. So if you are holding Celestica at higher price, at lower price, you had entered at lower than the current price, you could book profit for some of the positions, let's say about 20-25% of your positions, and then re-enter it at around $100, 150, uh, because the indicators have turned downward, especially on the daily chart. You can expect in the coming week some price drop, and this level here would be the first support to watch. If it continues drop further, the lower Bollinger Band level at 88 or uh, close to 88 would be the next support to watch, but that would be a huge bearish move that would be needed to happen. Since previously it faced resistance at this level, watch for the support around 100 first. If it breaks that support, then the buy around 90 would be a suitable entry. With your current positions, it would be good to book profit for some portion because it's already reversing. The profit booking has started in this week, so you could also book some profit and wait for the lower levels to enter. Uh, that's on the daily chart. It's clear that the correction has already started. Um, but positive side is that weekly trend shows that uh, 139 is an upside as well. So just watch for correction for entering to take it further for the higher targets. All right, so we'll take UNH as the last stock to analyze for this week. UNH. Yeah, UNH had a drop, and around this level, Vivek was closely watching. Vivek, were you able to add to this your positions, or when it had dropped around mid of May?
Yeah. I
Okay,
was able to. Yeah.
awesome. So looking at the weekly chart, it is still very attractive. It's close to the lower Bollinger Band. Williams R, RSI, MACD are in oversold region yet, with with the all of the EMAs above. The levels to look um, for very short term, the mid Bollinger Band here 332 would be the first target. Next target would be 336, which is not that far. Um, but if you are on it, this gap down here, the level at 377, the low here was 376.84. So 377 could be a good target. It could take some time, but would be mm, good to hold for this gap closure. The EMA here is currently showing at 386, which could, if it trades sideways, you can expect this level to drop to 377 or 380. But if it gives a upward move, then 385 could be the next target level, followed by 400 here, which is close to the upper Bollinger Band. And if you are on it for even longer term, then the mid Bollinger Band of 460 looks to be a strong resistance, as there are few more EMAs which are merging to the mid Bollinger Band. So from the current price, which is 300, if it goes up to 450, it's almost 50% upside. But do hold with a stop loss for 248 was the low here, and 244 is the lower Bollinger Band. So keep a stop loss at 240, which is a big stop loss. But in terms of the stop loss would be for your longer term position. If you are looking for the nearer targets, then the low here, which is 289, so 288 could be your stop loss.
Perfect. Okay, Kamal. Thank you. I think it would go up. Let's see.
Yeah, I do hope it goes up.
Yeah. It has a yield share also, YUNH. So that's what I'm holding. So
Okay.
same scenario.
How much is the yield?
I don't remember the yield, but it's around. Uh, s- it's not showing up here, man. But there is something I saw in the internet. Yeah,
Okay, no problem.
yeah, right.
All right, so I think
4%. Yeah,
4%.
4.4. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's still
yeah,
good.
still good.
Yeah. All right. So anything last, Vivek or Aditya? Are we good?
Good man. Yeah.
Okay.
How's Vivek sir doing?
Yeah, he's doing good. All right, so we'll just wrap it up here. Thank you for those who joined, and for those who would be watching the recording. Hope you all have profitable week coming ahead. Just be watchful in terms of the tariff news coming from the White House or Trump's social tweets. Um, with that, since the market is trading sideways, take positions with smaller portion of your portfolios. Uh, it's better to have some cash in case there's uh, unexpected drop, and then opportunity for holding it for higher targets. So with that, wish you all good luck for the coming week. And for those who are interested in joining the batch, we'll be starting the batch next Saturday. So um, please go ahead and enroll in the batch as well. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. With that, thanks, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Kamal.